Hello viewers, this is Say-La-Vee and welcome back to our All the Mods 9 Let's Play, Episode 4. Welcome back to the series, everybody. Welcome back. We are here and we are going to be doing some upgrades today. So, something that's not on our board from last episode is that we need to upgrade our jetpack. Look how slow, I can't even, if I just tap the spacebar, I can't even get up this block. And that's bothering me. So upgrades are in order. So the next upgrade for us would be the copper jetpack. So like before, we need 11 of these basic coils. So we'll craft 8 and then 3 to make 11. And now we need some of these batteries, which I've been working on making quite a bit of copper. So we need 5 batteries. So we'll go ahead and do that. We need to make some furnaces. So let's grab 16 of this. Go ahead and make 2 of those. Go back up here, make 2 of those, and then we need to make 1 battery. Boom. Now, in order to craft the center portion, all we need to do is upgrade our... I think we need some copper, right? Yep. So we'll just go ahead and do this and that, and boom. Now that is going to fill up with 250,000 FE out of our battery. And this is going to use a lot more power. So this is going to use 85 FE per tick instead of 35 FE per tick. So it's going to take a lot more, but that's okay because we have 1,000,000 FE in our inventory. And now look how much faster we are. That is just wonderful. Now if I tap the button, look at that. I actually go up the block. Perfect. So we've gotten a nice upgrade out of the way and we're not even 3 minutes into the episode. That is what preparing is. That's what preparing looks like. How much Certus do we have? We have 72 Certus quartz. I think soon we are going to try and dive into our... Ooh, a lava bucket. I think soon we're going to drive into applied energistics, but it's definitely going to take a little bit more time than I realized. So unfortunately, we'll just hold out for that. We went to the Nether so we can collect that quest. And that's it. That's all of our quests. Let's go ahead and put that away. Put the torches away. Now, what is on the itinerary for episode 4, you might ask? It's definitely not this. Yeah, we need more power, and we need more power bad. So, if we go in our inventory here, I have planned on making ourselves a Furnator. Furnators make 80 FE per tick, and then you can upgrade it to make 160 FE per tick, which just takes a Furnator. So, let's grab some cobblestone. Let's go ahead and clear that out. I think we're just going to make 8 furnaces. Oh, we had cobblestone in here. That's not good. Cobblestone goes over there. Put the cobblestone away. Throw our furnaces up in there. Let's go ahead and make our first Furnator. So, we have 1 Furnator here. Now, how do we upgrade it to a basic? Pretty simple. We already had the stuff for it. Boom, we have a basic Furnator. So let's grab a stack of coal and come over here and place down our Furnator and slap some coal into that. This is going to produce 160 FE per tick. And whenever coal goes in here, it builds up a backlog of carbon. So instead of using it and then wasting an entire coal, it's actually going to hold on to the backlog in its little internal tank. So now that we have that, all of our machines are going to fill up, and we are producing 90 plus 160 FE per tick. That's 250 FE per tick, which is a significant upgrade from what we had before. So by the looks of it, our power is situated for now, but that is not all. So there's a lot more that we can do in order to upgrade our power. Another thing that I want to get into, sorry, I just love these jetpacks. I just have to bounce around the base. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. Anyway, we built ourselves the basic one of those. Now let's go to at the power mod. Something that we are going to want here later on are some solar panels. So let's see, can we craft a solar panel? No, we can't, but we can craft 2 of those. So let's put those away. A basic solar panel is going to produce 40 FE per tick. We need to make some of these photoelectric panes, which means that we need some glass panes. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and click on this and make 3 of those. Put that away. Boom, we've got ourselves a starter solar panel. So a starter solar panel is not going to produce much FE per tick, but it is going to hold on to 20,000 FE, and that is going to be quite nice. We can go ahead in here and drain all that power into our battery. So let's go ahead and do that, fill that up, because why not? We'll wait for this to drain and then we'll just take it out. There we go. 700,000 FE per tick, or 700,000 FE is pretty good. So, our power situation is looking a little bit better. We have finished off filling these up, so this is now 7 wheat every minute, which is pretty good if you ask me, with a copper upgrade. So that's going to be that's going to produce quite a lot of wheat over time. And we are currently looking at 42 toasts in our inventory, which isn't bad. Now, you might be wondering, Say-La-Vee, why would you upgrade your tools but not your weapon? Well, that is because we are going to be diving into Ars Nouveau, because I would like to get, if we look at the Ars progression line, way down over here is what's called the Enchanter's Sword. The Enchanter's Sword is something that you can imbue a spell onto that is immediately going to get the touch application. So every time we hit something, it is going to apply a spell. And there are some pretty powerful things that we can do with the Harm and Amplify charms to activate a really good damage over time sword. They can basically, technically, one-shot things like basic mobs, one-shot basic mobs. So, in order to dive into Ars Nouveau, we need to make ourselves our first spellbook. So our first spellbook is going to be a suite of iron tools and a book. So let's go ahead and look up book. We'll craft ourselves one of those. And now we need some iron and some sticks. So we'll do that in this inventory. So let's place down those. Get ourselves our axe, get ourselves our pickaxe, get ourselves our shovel, and get ourselves our sword. So we'll place all that up in there, except for the toast, of course. And boom, now we have our spellbook. So while this is open, we can go ahead and click. I have the forward button on the side of my mouse to the quick wheel, so I can select all the spells that I have active, and the back button on my mouse is set to this. So let's go ahead and make our first harm spell. In order to do that, you just click projectile and you click harm, and then create. Now, in our first slot, we are going to have a white orb that is going to do damage to mobs at distance, because it's a projectile. And then down on the left side of the screen, you can see that we have a little mana bar that is going to refill over time, but it is consumed every time we cast a spell. So next what we need to do is we need to start diving into, let's collect our resources here, Archwood. Believe it or not, I went and collected an Archwood tree already. You might have noticed it last episode, but this is just hanging out over here. So let's go ahead and break that, equip our pickaxe so we can magnetize the items and stuff that fall, and then place down another sapling. Okay, let's go ahead and put all that away. Let's go ahead and get our logs back out. We've got 133 of them, so we can definitely turn some of that into some Archwood planks. That is going to complete the second quest, and of course is going to unlock the quest for the Scribes table. Now this is where all of our awesome spells and abilities are going to come from. So if we go ahead and search the Scribes table, oh, there's an apostrophe, Scribe table, we will make some planks, put those back in the system, and we will make ourselves the table. Now the table we will put here for now. That might be in the way. I might get frustrated, but who knows? So now if we right click this table holding the book, this will show all of the glyphs. That's what they're called, glyphs. This will show all of the glyphs available in the game. So if we go to tier 1, these are all of the tier 1 glyphs that our novice spellbook can cast. The key that we want is the amplify ability. that is going to take a diamond pickaxe in 3 levels and is going to amplify whatever ability, I believe to the right. Yeah, so if we amplify and then harm, or harm and then amplify, I can't quite remember, that is going to give us the ability to break things like it were a diamond pickaxe or do the damage as if it were a diamond sword. So let's go ahead and see. We've got 5 diamonds left. So we can definitely go ahead and craft ourselves a diamond pickaxe. I'm going to have to go resource collecting soon. So let's right click, let's click on amplify, select, and then we just drop the pickaxe on top. It is going to do this cute little animation, and then it will spit out our amplify glyph. So if we go ahead and collect this, collect these checkpoints, these aren't going to give us any rewards, they're just teaching you about the glyphs. Apparently we got for free the glyph of summon steed, so we are going to right click in the air, and that will unlock amplify, and then unlock summon steed. Wonderful. So we hit the back button. Now, because we have our harm here, we can amplify and amplify. We can only amplify twice, but this is almost half of our bar. So let's create that spell. And now let's go see if we can't find a mob. I'm sure there's not going to be a bunch of them. There are still chickens over here, but chicken just has a couple of health, so we can definitely kill it using that, but we're not surprised that it's going to do enough damage. So where are we going to find a mob? Maybe there's one down here in this cave. Oh, there is iron, though. Let's grab that iron. Look how quick we mined that. Isn't that wonderful? This pickaxe was worth the upgrade last episode. Ooh, some dark gems. We'll collect those. Some more copper we'll add to the slew of copper we already have. Get some more coal. We'll get some more coal. I'm just wasting your guys' time at this point. I'm going to bring you back at night once there are some mobs around, and we will see how powerful our spell is. Alright, now that it is nighttime, let's go see if we can't mess up a mob real quick with a double amplify harm. So it's not a one-shot. How much health does it do? Wow, it almost did their whole health bar. Of course, we don't have enough mana for it. Alright, so that's not bad. We can't block. The only downside really to using the spellbook is that you can't block with your shield while you have your spellbook active. Or equip. So let's go ahead and kill this guy. Oh, we missed. Alright. So we're not one-shotting, but we're kind of two-shotting things. Let's try it on a zombie. So 1-shot, 2-shot, and then he's down health. You can finish him off with the sword. So with how much mana that costs, I don't know if it's actually worth it. We can hit that creeper from a distance, though. That's definitely the best part. We do a lot of damage and we do it at distance. So we can slowly work towards... How did that just drop a shovel? It's a great question. So now we can start working towards our collection of spells, if you will. So, in case you didn't know, by having more glyphs known, you increase the amount of mana. So in the bottom left of your screen, you'll see a bar. This is your mana pool. There are several ways to increase your mana pool. To increase your efficiency of your spells by processing through the mod. Upgrading your spellbook can also increase your mana. Crafting your first spell, we did. It says press C, but I already changed that keybind. You start with 3 basic forms. Somewhere it teaches you... Oh, we didn't collect the experience. To create a glyph, right-click on the scribe table. I feel like it taught you somewhere. Maybe it doesn't. But from what I know, by knowing more glyphs, you increase the amount of mana that you actually have. But either way, let's continue. The next thing that we are going to need in order to progress through this mod is source berries. I don't think we've actually collected any because they spawn... Oh, they spawn most commonly in dark wood biomes, so like spruce and dark oak. But I think that we'll be able to find some here in the actual biome that belongs to the mod. I would be surprised if we don't find any. But I'm going to wander around for a little while, see if I can't find some source berries, and then I will bring you back once we are at base with source berries in hand. Found some. Okay, so we collected some source berries. We've got 23 of them, and the best thing about source berries is that they grow relatively quick. So let's place down some more over here. We'll make a little 4x4 plot of them for now. And then you can, of course, vein mine those. So, like those ones in the back, I'm surprised aren't already grown, but they do grow relatively quick. So we are going to utilize that feature here soon. Next, we need to make ourselves an imbuement chamber. So let's click A on that to get the crafting recipe saved up here. Get rid of the jetpack stuff. We can make ourselves one imbuement chamber. I figured we would do the R stuff over here. So we will place down the imbuement chamber. And now, something that we are going to need to do is we are going to need to imbue lapis lazuli. This is a crafting progress. This takes a while. If there's source nearby in a source jar, then it will increase the speed. But what this is going to do is it's going to turn the lapis into a source gem. And then those source gems are going to be used as an important recipe or an important ingredient later on. You need to use lapis or amethyst shards in an imbuement chamber. Over time, they will convert into source gems. Now, you can automate this by using the pipes mod and filtering in or inputting lapis and then filtering out only source gems. And that's a very good use of the mod. However, in order to filter, you actually need the diamond level upgrade. So unfortunately, not something that we can do at the moment, but we can work on it. So there is our first source gem. We need 2 in order to complete the quest. So I will go ahead and make the second. And once I figure out, actually, I wonder if we can automate this using the mod Modular Routers. Actually, I know we'll be able to, but will we be able to craft a modular router? So let's make 6 blank upgrades. Let's go ahead and make ourselves... Oh, this makes 4 modular routers. Okay, so that's really good, actually. So let's make 4 of those. We need to make a puller module, which is a sticky piston. So let's go ahead and go in here. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have the aluminum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're going to need 2 pistons for this puller and the pusher upgrade. So the pusher upgrade, let's go ahead and craft 2 of those. Oh, sender upgrade is what it's called. So let's make the sender, and then let's make the puller. Oh, we need to make this a sticky piston. Let's go ahead and do that. And craft 1 of those. Boom. All right. So now the modular router, we are going to, we might need more of these senders and pullers, but we are going to send, going to pull from the left source gems only. And that's going to create a source gem. And then we are going to send to the right only lapis. Perfect. So if we fill this with lapis, it's going to input the lapis. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. To the right. Now this one will fill up with source gems, and this one will fill up, or will empty with lapis. So over time, we will slowly collect more and more of those. Let's move this source table, or scribes table, sorry. Place it down right there. And boom, we have ourselves our first little automation for Ars Nouveau. What is next on the list? Now that we've collected 2, we can go ahead and collect our resources here. So source jar is going to be our next thing. So let's go ahead and put all this stuff away. Oh, we got air essence. That's very good. Let's go ahead and look up a source jar. which is going to be pretty easy to make. So let's make some more slabs. Let's go ahead and make 4 jars. Just like that. We've only got 16 glass left. We got to pay attention to that. Our source, we will place down here. We are going to turn this little section of this little corner of our platform here into our source production facility, I guess. Yeah, see how these are almost fully grown already? So they grow definitely pretty quick. Now we've created a source jar. Now we need to start collecting source. Oh, and we got a free jar even. Let's go ahead and place that there. Now, how do we want to collect source to begin with? I keep saying source a lot. Agronomic source links create source whenever a plant grows nearby. So we are going to craft a couple of these, and that requires wheat. So thankfully, we've actually got some wheat right here. So let's go ahead and go to the agronomic source link, and we can craft one of those because we only had 2 source gems. But now we will place down this link, and that is going to slowly, over time, recognize when plants are grown. So we've collected, one of these is done, so let's just grab that so we can plant some more over here. And we'll hopefully be able to see this work. So this is 0% full, all of these are 0% full. This is going to it's going to collect source from one of these growing, and then it's going to input it into the closest jar. So this one should fill up first. And then over time, the 5 of them will fill up, and then we can move one of those jars closer to over there, which now that I think about it, let's see if this will work. Let's see how many source gems we have. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We've got 3 source gems, so we can make another link. Make one more of those. And boom. In our time that we walked away, that grew, and this created some source. So you can see down there, we've got that purple fluid, and that is the source collected. So I have gone ahead and made one agronomic source link for each one of these jars that we have. So this is at 4% full. I've placed a lot more source berries down out back here. So this is going to slowly produce source over time. We are up to 4 source gems here, and we are going to now take some of these source gems and turn them into some source stone. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll turn all of that into source stone and complete this quest. So that is going to give us some resources, more air essence and some water essence. Those are both very good. We will go ahead and put away that andesite. Now, in order to use this source stone properly, we are going to need to make these arcane pedestals. So let's go ahead and put that in our list of our bookmarks. And we are going to need source stones and some golden nuggets. So let's go ahead and make some gold nuggets. Like I said, this is a very gold hungry mod, so don't jump into this until you have at least some gold in your pocket. But we are going to slowly work towards 8 of these pedestals. 8. That is going to be 4 pedestals. Nope. Because it's 4 per. So, right, it's 4 per, yeah. So half a stack of source stone will make you the 8 pedestals that you need, so keep that in mind. So we need 4 source gems. So let me wait for these 2 more source gems to complete, and then we will craft up our source pedestals, and then we can dive a little bit further into this mod. Back in the crafting menu, we have our 8 source gems, so let's go ahead and make our 8 pedestals, and we will complete this quest. Next is the enchanting apparatus, which is a very important thing in this mod. So it shows that you can set it up that way, but you can actually set it up just with the 8 of them, like so, which we will be doing. I'm not necessarily going for pretty right now, I'm going for functional. So we need the arcane core, which is some more source stones and a source gem, and we need the enchanting apparatus. So let's go ahead and remove the pedestal from our bookmarks. We need to make some more source stones. So let's go ahead and grab 8 of these. Make 8 source stones. And now the arcane core, we'll craft one of those. And then the enchanting apparatus takes a diamond. So thankfully we still have some diamonds. We only have one left. We are definitely pushing our resources at the moment, but we are doing it together. So let's place the arcing core and let's place the enchanting apparatus. Now, this together is going to be a very powerful setup, and this is going to unlock the ability to make the enchanter's sword. So how do we make an enchanter's sword using the arcane apparatus? It takes a diamond sword and a diamond, so we need 2 more diamonds in order to do this. We need 2 source gem blocks and 2 blocks of gold. Source gem blocks are just 4 gems, so we only need 8 of those, and then we need 18 gold, which we have. And I believe, I can't remember immediately off the top of my head, but I don't think it consumes those resources, but it might actually. So we're definitely going to have to sit and wait a while for these to finish collecting. But once we get to that point, we will have ourselves a nice sword that we can play around with. So I guess for the time being, unless I come up with some sort of side project, I will be sitting around waiting for all this to finish so we can get ourselves a sword. So I have been down in the mines and I am tired of crafting and placing torches. So what we want to do is unlock a new spell for ourselves, and that is going to be the wonderful glyph of Conjure Mage Light. So we will hit A on that to get that over here, and we need ourselves a lantern and a torch. So we need to make torches one last time. I don't think we have any. We don't. So let's go ahead and grab a stick and a coal so we can do that. Boom. And then finally we need a lantern. So in order to make a lantern, we need a torch and not 8 iron nuggets. So let's go ahead and make some iron nuggets. Let's go ahead and put all that away. Let's go ahead and grab our lantern recipe and grab these torches because we need 1. Put those away. Head over here. Right click on, right click with our thing, tier 1, Conjure Mage Light, select, drop the torch, drop the lantern. This is going to do its fun little thing. We're going to go here, pick that up, wait a second so it will complete the quest, collect our resources, and boom, we now have Conjure Mage Light. So I always like to put Conjure Mage Light on like number 5, so it's down on the bottom. So if we do light, and just simply do touch and Conjure Mage Light, we can create. And now, if we select that, I guess I wanted it to be on number 6, not number 5. That's fine. Now we can just touch a block and boom, we create ourselves a little Mage Light. So if we go back into our creation and we do clear and we delete this name, do create, go down here, do touch, and Conjure Mage Light, and you can actually do projectile, so you can fire a light. Let's name this like we did before, light, create, and then we'll go in here to colors, and I want it to be rainbow. So now when we fire this off, we are going to have ourselves a rainbow light that is just going to cycle through the colors. And now if we go down to the bottom of our mine, we can light up the tunnels and stuff that I'm digging. Okay, so I just got back from doing some mining. We now have 10 diamonds, so we are going to be able to make our sword before the end of the episode, which is wonderful. I'm quite excited about that. So let's go ahead. I just harvested and replanted our source berries, so we are at 39% of a source over there. The next thing that I would like to do is I need to get the next portion of our sword, and that is going to be the delay rune. So in order to get the delay rune, we need the manipulation essence, a redstone repeater, and a clock. So let's select that. Let's head over here. Let's make ourselves a repeater. Redstone repeater. You can craft one like that. Oh, we don't have stone. 1, 2, 3. Thankfully we have andesite. Andesite counts as stone, right? I think in this case it does not. It doesn't. Okay, so we have to make a stack of this. So let's go ahead and go over here, put this in the gold furnace so it cooks up nice and quick. Collect our resources here. We only need 3, so we can collect this 4 and then just beat it over here again. Okay, redstone repeater. Boom, we have one. Awesome. Let's go ahead and put that away. Let's go ahead and put our iron and gold away. We have 1 stone left. We'll put that up there. Let's get a clock. Just a redstone and some gold. It's a very vanilla recipe. And now we need a manipulation essence. So how do we get that, I wonder? So let's throw those in there. We only have the one thing left. So let's search manipulation essence. So in order to make the manipulation essence, we need the imbuement chamber, 2000 source. We need a source stone button, a clock, and a redstone. So let's go ahead and do this. Make another clock. Good thing we made that 4th stone. We're going to turn that into a button. And then we need just 1 singular redstone. And we place that on these pedestals over here. Take that out of here. Take that out of here. We'll wait for that to finish. We'll leave all this in our inventory for now. Come on. We got to move our jar here up next to that. And now, what goes in the center here? A source gem. Pedestals are required within 1 block of the chamber. Okay. So, in that case, let's do this. Let's place the arcane core in the ground. Place the enchanting chamber on top of that, and then the imbuement chamber there. Now, we are able to do this. This is going to craft up our manipulation essence. Boom, all done. And look at that. And it does not consume these resources here, which is very good to know. So let's get those back. That used 20%. And we completed the glyph of delay. We have that in our inventory. Let's go ahead in here to our Ars Nouveau. Collect our experience and right click that and boom. So now if we open up this and we go to number 10, we can make a spell called Sword. And this is going to be the spell that's going to go on our sword. So we want to harm, amplify, delay, harm, amplify, delay, harm, amplify. Now that is going to take about half of our bar, but that is we are going to hit something with the sword and then it is going to harm. Oh, we can remove this amplify because the sword applies an amplify for free. So this is going to harm at an amplified value. After 3 seconds, it's going to harm again. And then after 3 seconds, it's going to harm again. So now what we need to do is we need to come over here. We need to get ourselves a diamond. We need to get ourselves 2 blocks. Put that away, that away, that away for now. Put the redstone away. Put the clock away. So we need 2 source blocks. We need sticks. We need 2 golden blocks. We need a diamond sword and a diamond. So let's go over here. Let's do gold, gold, source, source, diamond. And then right here in the center is our diamond sword. That is going to do this wonderful little thing. It's going to spin around in circles there, all fancy like. And boom, we now have an enchanter's sword. So we place the enchanter's sword on the table and then we shift right click with the spell. So let's make sure we go to sword, shift right click with the spell. And now that sword is going to have the ability that we just put on there. So if we hover over this, it's going to say touch, harm, amplify, delay, harm, amplify, delay, harm, amplify. So this does 8 entity damage, as you can see down there on the bottom. Let's put that sword away, put that on slot 1. Go ahead and throw the rest of our resources away. And now, looks like there is an enemy of some kind over here. Let's turn our jetpack back on. Where is this enemy? Is it underground? Yeah, let's go underground here. There's a creeper. And some zombies. Let's float on by, turn off our overlay so it's not as obnoxious. And now, if we hit this creeper, we can see it glowing with magic, and it takes damage slowly over time. So this zombie, we can see it gets hit and hit and hit, and it's just going to keep taking damage. That one surprisingly survived, but as you can see, oh, it's because we were out of mana. So maybe we remove a harm from our spell here, because we were just using so much mana. But, long story short, we have quite the weapon. Oh, I guess we have to go all the way home to apply the spell. Place our sword down. Open this up. Go to 10. Remove a harm and a delay and an amplify. Create. Shift right click. Get our sword back. And then also this sword is going to repair itself using our mana. So this technically has mending on it as well, which is very important. See how it just clicked and disappeared from our screen? That's because it's repairing itself. Now it's up to 230. And if we watch in just a second, it should go up to 231 and be at full durability. Boom, look at that. So, we have ourselves a nice weapon and a shield to go with it. We're going to want to make ourselves the Enchanter's Shield too at some point, because that's going to give us mana regen whenever we block a hit. And we're going to want to enchant this sword, which you can actually do. So, I think next episode we know what we're going to do. We go down here, and we delete this. Add an enchanting setup to our list of stuff to do. And that is what we will work on next episode. Guys, just want to say thank you for watching. If you liked the episode, like it. If you dislike it, go ahead and leave a dislike. If there's anything that you want to say to me or the other people of YouTube, you can say that down in the comment section below. But for the time being, I just want to wish you a good night, or good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, or whatever it is for you. Just have a good day. Be happy. This has been Say-La-Vee. Bye-bye.